He then asks the dragon to be more careful since he has only lived once. After all, the dragon throws his fire toward him. Hewen and the others ask him to get away from there, but he stays still. Hang and Hwin shout for him and ask him to get away from there. In the meantime, the durability of the reinforced armor suit has decreased drastically. The fire hits him, which breaks his reinforced armor suit. The dragon throws his fire toward Dokja completely. There is a notification that he has died. After some time, the skill, King of No Killing, has taken effect. Suddenly, he gets up and thinks they say that burning to death is one of the most painful ways to die, and it really does feel like hell. He is then notified that his personal skill, the fourth wall, has partially nullified the pain. He then thinks TWSA has become a reality and he is living within its world. But he feels that there is a wall around this world. However, this isn't the time to be thinking of such things, and he should get a move on now that he has the King of No Killing attribute. This is a special attribute that he can only obtain when he hasn't killed anyone, and he will return to his body soon if the attribute functions correctly. But he is shocked to see the notification that the effect of the King of No Killing has been delayed due to a conflicting personal skill, and his consciousness has been freed from the confinement of his body due to death. He is worried because something doesn't seem right, and his level 3 on the Int Reader Viewpoint is automatically activated. On the other side at Chungo Station, Pildo is present there and wonders why he has to do as Dokja said. He remembers when his teammates asked him to accompany them, but he couldn't. Sangak comes to him and says it's not so bad being friends with everyone. He asks her to get Gilang off him right now. Sangak says she heard he was a major landowner in Chungo, and she asks him how much land he had anyway. He replies he had as much as anyone. She says he was the only one with the landlord attribute, and there were many other landowners in the coalition. She says the quality of the land matters and asks him if he has lands like that. In the meantime, Dokja is shocked because he can see what is happening in Chungmuro and wonders if this is level 3 of Omniscient Reader Viewpoint. Suddenly, everyone is shocked to see that the light thread has been broken, and Pildo gets up hurriedly, asking everyone to gather around. Many monsters appear, and Sangus asks everyone to gather around Pildo and do just as they practiced this morning. In the meantime, Pildo activates his Stigma, Military Zone Level 8, and Sangak asks Group A to gather around the turrets and Group B to be on the turrets. He then asks Group C to protect Pildo. The monsters are coming toward them at full speed, and she instructs them to stop them from coming up the platform. After some time, they have defeated all the monsters, and Sangak is happy that they did it. It was possible because they all worked together. In the meantime, some people appear and say the Flute of Hlin wasn't enough to do the job. One of them exclaims that it's one of Yungyok's stations, so Tier N subordinates wouldn't have been enough. Pildo thinks these people are different from the ones they have been up against, and he asks others to go and get the samurai. Jihe calls him and says she is already there, and asks him not to call her a samurai. Otherwise, he will be punished dearly for it. The man exclaims that it's really true that the armed lord and the naval commander have joined hands. Pildo asks him who they are and where they came from. Their leader asks them about the men who went dragon hunting right now, and he replies that the 5th, 6th, the IES, and the 9th, plus one guy who isn't a disciple, but is still quite useful. However, excluding the ones that aren't in Seoul, there are 5 of them remaining. He asks him to fight and wipe them out. The fat boy says he will take Jai-hee since she has nothing on land, which makes her angry. Pildo tries to attack them and asks them to get out of there. Meanwhile, Dokja is watching them all fight and thinks they are really planning to take over Chungo to get Yunghyok on their side to take over the world. They are so well prepared and also have the Flute of Hlin, as well as mana nullifying shields to defend against giants. Pildo's turrets, however, things won't be as easy as they think. They are really shocked to see that Jihe is this strong at this point in time and thinks something's not right. They are also worried to see that Pildo's turrets are too difficult to take down because Jihe and Pildo have become much stronger than they are supposed to be in the 3rd regression at this point. Sangak and Gilyung can also hold their own, and they won't be able to take Chungo that easily. But Dokja is shocked to see that one of them has mono bullets of mass destruction and throws them toward them. They are fighting and Jihe is badly injured. The attack hits, and Gilyung is also affected. Dokja finds out that this man must be the king of the disciples. Jihe falls to the ground, and the fat man laughs at her and says she should know her place as a supporting character, and he will be taking his time with her. The king calls him seventh and says they don't have time. He replies that it's a waste to kill her now because he hasn't read to the end. He exclaims, she is like a throwaway, a fake heroine or something, and she calls someone for help. Dokya is shocked that she communicated with him and wonders if she can see him. She asks him for help, and he is notified that his personal skill, the fourth wall, is resonating faintly. He wants to save her because she is just a girl. Another notification appears saying certain effects of the fourth wall have been restricted due to increased immersion. Seventh hits Jai-Hai to the ground, and Dokja is notified that his proficiency in the Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint skill has drastically increased due to the increased immersion. He starts getting dizzy and eventually becomes unconscious. After some time, a notification appears saying, Viewpoint changing to first person. Suddenly, Jung-hyuk appears and asks what is going on. He can also feel his feet touching the ground. He draws his sword, reaches them, and cuts the neck of the seventh in just one blow. The seventh dies in front of them, and everyone is shocked to see his power level. They ask him who he is, and he replies that he is Jung-hyuk, and today all of them will die by his hands. Suddenly, level 3 of the Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint is unlocked. The conflicting skills have been resolved. The effects of the King of No Killing have resumed, and his body is revived from death. Body regeneration is regressing, and his body parts are gathering to become Ud Dokja Kim. His current position is at Anguk Station, where the dragon is still present and attacking the people. He is notified that the fourth wall skill has nullified the shock of dying, and he feels the air in his lungs feel hot. It seems that he was revived without any problems. While Jung-hyuk is taking care of Chunggo, Dokja wonders about the Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, level 3. A moment ago, he was in Chunggo and Yong's perspective, and he felt himself in light, efficient footsteps. His long fingers grasped the tip of the blade, and that cleanly beautiful cut decapitated the man. He never wanted to experience that again if possible. He wonders how he became Jung-hyuk. Suddenly, a notification appears, saying it is preparing the Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, level 3 reward. Yoon Sung and Hui Wen are shocked to see him and wonder if he used the resuscitation skill. He remembers the new attribute he obtained. The King of No Killing grants him immortality, and its special ability is resurrection. He can't resurrect whenever, but they need to use karma points to do that. They give him 100 points to start with and a bonus resurrection to boot. He then finds a plate with the number 1 and has spent 100 karma points, which excretes his bodily waste. His physique has been enhanced. His stamina and mana have each increased by 1. Heewon calls Hong and says they will move to the next plate. He calls Dokja and puts him on the number plate. As soon as he steps on it, the dragon uses the flame of destruction. They are protected from the attack, and Hang is happy to see him alive. He asks if Dokya is all right, and then asks if he has anything to wear because his clothes have burnt away. At that moment, he realizes that Dokya hasn't worn anything. He is embarrassed to see him naked, and even more so, Dokya needs his items, breakable faith and his flag. However, he is worried to see that they are at the dragon's feet. In the meantime, Heewon and others rush toward him, but he is so embarrassed by his nakedness that he can't help it. His clothes burn away, leaving only the scenario items and artifacts. Heewon gives him her coat, and he thanks her for the favor. Meanwhile, the constellation Bald Army General is a little disappointed because he was enjoying the situation. The dragon again rushes toward them, and he asks others to run. Dokja realizes that all the disciples have burned to death, leaving behind the blue ice pills. The dragon attacks a girl, and Dokja takes advantage of the situation, grabbing his flag. He is notified that he can now use the power of the flag again. Number plates have been activated, and he asks others to look for the plates. They find a plate, and the dragon once again uses his flame of destruction. Dokabi says it looks like they are still hanging in there, but their luck won't last too long. Heewon asks Dokja what they should do now, and he replies that they will have to fight. He deactivates his absolute shield and remembers that there were 5 blue ice pills, and now there are 5 of them. If they all take the pill, they might be able to damage the lesser dragon, but the problem is whether they can kill it before its next AI attack. However, he asks others to run and pick up the blue ice pills, thinking they might be able to win if they have them. He thinks about the skills of his teammates. Hong has mountain crush skills, but lacks agility. Heewon is agile but doesn't have enough strength. He then spends his 4,100 coins on mana, and his main level reaches 25 from 16. His soul resonates with the world, and he takes the ice pill, which results in him exuding ice energy. He now thinks of a strategy and wonders if they should attack it together. He is notified that his attacks gain an additional 40% ice property damage. He thinks he can use the Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint to find its weakness and remembers there being some kind of reward before. 3 notifications appear, saying he can now claim the Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint Level 3 reward and has experienced the first-person main character path. He can now obtain the skill of a character he was immersed in, and he finds out that he was immersed in Yongyuk, which means he can learn one of his skills. Suddenly, Heewon appears from the side and saves him from the dragon's attack. She asks him what he is, Dokubi, or if he wants to die again. He then displays the available skills and sees there are 3 skills available. He smiles, thinking there is no way they would let him have Tiger God Aya of Skybreaker. He wants to choose the LIE detection skill out of the 3, but can't help but pick fire resistance. At the moment, he then wonders what he should do now. He thinks he is a reader, and his answer lies in what he has read. His memory of the novel has been elaborated due to his attributes. Heewon asks him to hurry. He thinks and chooses the skills of cold resistance. He asks Heewon to give him the blue ice pills and also asks Manab and Sungkook to give them the pills. He has taken 4 blue ice pills, and the property damage of the blue ice pills has increased due to the stacked effects. His attack hacks an additional 200% property damage, and a heart-stopping chill overcomes his entire body. He is being protected by the skill Ice Resistance Level 5 and asks everyone to get behind him. He then activates the Blade of Faith. An Unbreakable Faith special property has been activated. The Ether AIX is changed to dark. He then activates the Stigma Sword Dance, and a random phrase left behind by the naval warfare god engulfs his sword. The phrase states that someone will win if they do this, but they will win if they do that. In the meantime, the dragon again rushes to attack. He can see that the dragon's skin has been highlighted in parts, and the constellation naval warfare god is rooting for him. He then swings in the air and stabs it in the dragon's body. The dragon cries in pain. He needs to end it before it uses its breath attack again. The dragon is about to attack them again, but they are the only survivors. It is said that only a single plate spawned in the previous attack, and they were lucky that he had the number 5. But if the next plate to appear has 3, 4, or even 6, they will all die. He again tries to jump from there and wonders if he can mimic Yonghyuk's sword swings just this once. He attacks the dragon again and stabs it in its body. He attacks it multiple times using his unbreakable sword and tries to freeze its body parts using the cold resistance skill. Heewon and Hong are watching him fight. Dokja wonders if the dragon is dead since it is not moving, but he is still alive. This makes him fall at a distance using its tail and badly injures him. Dokja wonders if he is going to die this time and thinks this is because he is not the main character. This time, the Tier 5 Lesser Dragon Ignar uses his Flame of Destruction. Dokja thinks if he were Yonghyuk, then he would be the main character and could have finished this off with one blow. However, he refuses to give up as a reader, and he throws his sword toward the dragon with all the power left in his body. He targets its weak point, which is its heart, and this time the sword hits its heart. He thinks he is the only one who continued to read the novel over the past 10 years. With this, his heart is freezing because of his skill. The dragon cries in pain but is freezing gradually, and after a while it freezes completely. He is notified that he has first blood on the minor catastrophe, Lesser Dragon Ignar. At the same time, the chief of the soul, Bradaki Baram, frowned as he read the scenario in his hand with the title of the request to review the plausibility of regressor Yonghyuk. He thinks that these days everyone is so quick to notice whether they are a Dokabi or a constellation and asks the Dokabi about who put in the complaint. One of them replies that it's from Alon in Japan, which makes Baram angry. He says he should keep his eyes on his own country. Another informs him that the competition between the low-ranking Dokabi is fierce these days. According to this data, he definitely has a point in questioning the plausibility of the character Yoke. Not only did he have high-level skills from the beginning, but he also had classified information that is censored automatically because of Yonghyuk's eye for the Sage skill. There was even information that they had to receive help from the higher-ups to access, and Baram asked them to leave Yonghyuk alone because the higher-ups have given him the green light. He also exclaims that Yonghyuk probably has a constellation that can handle such a backlash, and the 5th scenario will be starting soon, so they should just keep their eyes on that for now. The advantage he has will be canceled out later in the scenario. On the other side, Dokja is notified that his memory of certain scenes has been elaborated due to his attribute, and there is a line from Yonghyuk's 6th regression that he remembers. A notification says he has contributed to completing the 5th scenario for the first time ever and has achieved the impossible. Due to his achievement, the calculation of his reward will be delayed. Dokija thinks he is soon to be in a similar situation. Now he gets the Tier 5 Dragon Nucleus, and because of this, some low-level Dokabi have requested a plausibility review. Suddenly, Hewan appears from behind and hits him badly, causing him to fall to the ground. He cries in pain and says he might die if she hits him like that because his stamina has hit rock bottom. But she is worried about him and says he will not come back to life all the time. Meanwhile, he receives notifications from many constellations that they are interested in his tactic. Some applaud his fighting spirit, and many more are impressed by his exploits. Hewan asks if he knew all about this earlier. He replies that he didn't know anything, and with this, he is notified that he has been gifted 20,000 coins from the constellations. Hewan is furious at him for putting his life in danger, but she is relieved that he has come back to life. He tells them about the new skill he obtained, and because of this, he revived again. His skill is that he will get 1 resurrection for every 100 lives he saves. Hewan says they should work hard to save lives from now on. However, he thinks about the critical flaw of the King of No-Killing skill, that he can't kill anything that is the same species as he is. Hewan promises to save lives for him, and Dokhyun knows that if he kills someone, then he will be removed from the position of king. Hong was also surprised to see this and said there really are all sorts of abilities. It's like they are in some kind of fantasy novel. Dogja is surprised to see Sungkook and Miss alive because he didn't expect them to survive as well. Sungkook asks him why he is suddenly so nice to them, and he replies that he is done pretending to be Junghyuk. He asks them to give their phones to him and asks for permission to keep them from now on. Seaga cries because of his phone and says he thought he was done pretending to be Junghyuk. He has lost most of the items he had during the scenario, but the biggest loss of all is that he has lost his phone. He tries to open his mail on the new phone, and he wonders what he will do if the mail he received from the author is also deleted. He opens his account, gets the novel in no time, and thinks there is no way a document that even the Dokjabi and the constellations don't have access to can be deleted so easily. He wonders if the renouncers can read this and thinks he should be careful just in case. Suddenly, Dokabi teleports with him and tells him that the management keeps calling him over because of him. They have flipped out completely, and he asks him about the weird skill he has. He also asks him why the higher-ups can't access the information about it. Dokja asks him what they have decided and if they are telling him to penalize him. Dokabi says they have decided to let him be thanks to his defense. They have also decided that he wasn't powerful enough to have an unfair advantage in the scenarios. Dokja just says this happened just as he thought, and he purposely didn't level his passive skills in case this happened. Dokabi says others argue otherwise, but the orders came from higher-ups. The Dokabi gave the order himself, and he can ask the mid-level Dokabi, but he is not supposed to be there, and there are a lot of eyes watching. He also asks him to watch himself because the mid-level Dokabi in charge of this area is out for his neck. Plausibility reviews are kind of like a tax investigation. However, Dokabi Baram appears there and says there was a problem and his rewards were delayed. He exclaims that they are late, but they will be issuing his rewards now. Multiple notifications appear saying he has obtained 3 coins for completing the hidden scenario. He also obtained 15,000 coins for the first blood of a Tier 5 fire dragon. He has also received the protection symbol of the Amun for defeating a minor catastrophe for the first time. He will also gain the favor of the Amun in the future. Dokya just thinks this isn't a bad start to the 5th scenario. He observes that everyone else seems to have gotten good rewards, but this is all he gets for defeating a minor catastrophe. Dokabi says there has been a hitch in the scenario because of his hard work. He states that the management has discussed this and concludes that the skill level of the incarnations in the area surpasses the scenario's difficulty. Therefore, he has decided to adjust the scenario difficulty in his area. Thanks for watching. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated. And hey, drop a comment if you have thoughts or new ideas or just want to say hi. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take care and stay awesome.